Can you tell me again about the so-called solar flash? Nothing like that happening, right? And people turning a positive event into negative ones, with solar flashes always happening. Anything else to add?
The galaxy gives off natural spiral-shaped waves, hundreds of light years across. They are as large as the visible arms of any galaxy. But as they're mostly high vibration energy, they move a lot faster than the observable spiral arms of the same galaxy that are or reside in lower densities of matter. That's why they are matter in the first place. So as they move faster, they catch up with the matter parts where the solar systems reside, and they impact the whole system, temporarily increasing their frequency. A sun is the energetically most sensitive part of any solar system, obvious to say, so it reacts to the incoming wave a lot stronger than the other components like the planets. So the sun acts much like a relay station that aligns temporarily with the incoming frequency wave, sending off its own waves, in turn in the shape of solar wind. This is why people confuse solar activity with the incoming high-frequency galactic waves. When those energy storms happen, we hear like hail on a tin roof with these high-energy storms, but it is not individual BB gun particles hitting the hull. It is really a group of countless waves of energy, the ones that hit the hull, and they react as something quite physical, but it is like a pressure change around the hull, a pressure change in the value of gravity within the field that surrounds the ship's hull. We are no longer calling them positronic waves. We don't remember who used that name first, but it is incorrect, as there are no real observable positrons there. But I can see the relationship, as a positronic charge wave would also produce similar effects on a planet, as standing next to a waterfall would as well. I would call them galactic high-energy spiral waves. Those galactic high-energy spiral waves are part of the galaxy itself, part of its energetic matrix and harmonics, also seen as high-frequency gravity waves. The problem we constantly face here is semantics. We may call things by the same name, but we many times mean different things. One of such confusions is the term positron or positronic. It may mean different things for humans and for us, as a positron or proton is very 3D, and we're talking about a very high 5D scalar, 9D, 8D to 1D array of frequencies and particles that also behave like a wave and like a particle at the same time. We use positronic because it is a very high frequency wave, meaning it is positive and has a positive effect onto Earth, where you can measure the overall average frequency with a Schumann resonance, and in that case, it is positrons as it is a charge in the ionosphere. So light might be a better term, but if we use light storms instead of positronic storms, people or you will think we're talking about visible light, like blinding everyone, and this is not the case, so I fall short of the correct words here.
Don't we have to know what form of energy these are, sister? Baryonic, gravitational, light?
Gravitational. But they're mixed, meaning that they're not pure. See them as a wave of dirty water, dirty gravity. Because as they are gravity, they are charged with all kinds of particle rubbish, piggybacking the wave itself. Sometimes even dust and small stones, but mostly particles of all other kinds. This is what impacts the ships, making the distinctive hail on tin roof wound on the hull. The shields help a lot, but these waves come in a scalar way, meaning multiple densities at once. So some particles and garbage sometimes do penetrate the shields, causing damage to ships. And yes, we do have shutters, but essentially they're only for reinforcement purposes and used only sometimes. Shutters are like for protecting glass as in a windshield, but in these ships, the windscreen is not glass. It is polymorphic titanium alloy, as the rest of the hull is. 2 feet thick, and as strong as the rest of the hull. Same for the windows alongside the ship, but even if a hole would be made in the hull, a total hull breach, the toroid, the shields, can hold in the pressure and the air so we can still breathe even after taking heavy damage.
Okay, so what effect does this energy have on human mind, consciousness? Does it relate to humans ascending in perception? And not just humans, but you in 5D too.
A sudden increase in density opens what many call the third eye. Yasuhi has another opinion about third eye. As the density is higher, any creature inside the wave can perceive things that usually are beyond its natural capacity, causing a memory of the event. That in turn, wanting to explain it, causes an interest in advancing consciousness, meaning the subject awakens.
Do you use a deflector dish of sorts, maybe to dispel the energy, sister?
No, we use a toroidal energy shield that gets its energy directly from the engines.
This is what I don't understand. It is said that what makes us raise in density is our perception, not something from the outside. That the density depends purely on us. So why does this wave have that effect, raising us in density awareness?
See this as a temporary cosmic ayahuasca or peyote event that returns to normal, meaning it did not awaken the subject, or only artificially, causing an interest in the subject to know more and in turn have a permanent effect. See it as a sneak peek into another density, only as a drug would affect your consciousness, but that is enough to cause the individual to want to know more.
I see. Good analogy, okay. But what do you mean temporary? You mean the wave does not stay permanently? It hits and then it withdraws, just like it does during your storms?
It hits and withdraws. Yes, exactly. Never lasting more than a few days on each event. You see this in the Schumann resonance indicator that spikes and then returns to normal.
Okay, so we could actually use the Schumann resonance as an indicator of when these waves are hitting the Earth.
Yes, you can, but solar activity may or may not have anything to do with the waves.
Can our sun's solar activity, that is, flares, be linked to this wave and therefore also be used as a prediction of these events, like the Schumann resonance?
The sun has a temper, especially the sun. The incoming galactic waves are a factor that does disturb the sun, but it also has other non-related events that cause solar flares and sunspots, and gravitational anomalies like gravity wells and related things.
So, the Federation knowing this and know they do, aren't they worried that their game participants might all suddenly wake up when this continues to increase? I guess that's why they are all in chaos, running around there with different agendas.
They're worried. I see the game crumbling as their lunar matrix is not working any longer, not to any real degree. Then they resort to things like 5G and chipping humans and HARP to try to reduce the frequency of Earth, as well as false flag events such as September 11th and COVID-19.
Whoa, if the lunar matrix has decreased or fallen, is that partly the reason for the CV-19 event to keep us under control during this time?
Yes.
Yippee! I get it. I understand.
Are you not going to ask about this? Other non-related events that cause solar flares and sunspots and gravitational anomalies like gravity wells and related things?
What are those events, Anéeka?
The suns are all interconnected as they are scalar conscious sentient beings. So what goes on in a related sun affects all the others in an array effect, much like people are also connected by consciousness. So when the member of a clan of people is experiencing an event, and it affects the whole community, this is the case with suns as well. The interconnection between the suns are what you call the wormholes, as you know. As a sun is a portal to others, both an exit point or an entering point, if the sun agrees.
So, what goes on with other suns that causes our sun's activity?
For example, when a gravity wave hits another sun far away and it changes its frequency and all what goes with it, it will, in turn, affect the others it is connected with. So this sun may be having a solar flare that is not directly related to the energy incoming from the galactic spirals, as the spiral is hitting another related connected sun. And as they are sentient beings, if one throws a tantrum, it affects the others as well.
Lots of photonic energy transferring between them, right?
Photonic, yes, but mainly gravitational. In space, nearly all energy is gravitational. All other forms of energy comprise less than 0.0001% of what remains.
So, is it related to the Alcyone sun and the activity there?
There is a lot said on the web about the high energy wave coming into Earth emanating from Alcyone, and they also say that this sun, here, Sun 13, is part of the Pleiades, or that it orbits Alcyone. We do not see any of this, and we don't even understand where do these rumors come from. You can always say, or artificially choose to say, that one or another sun is part of this or that constellation, as they are artificial constructs, rarely based on energetic interactions between the suns in the group. Besides, a constellation as such is relative to the point of view of the observer. So no, as for us Taigedans, we see no relationship between Alcyone and Sun 13 regarding the incoming high energy waves. We only see or accept that Alcyone may be connected to Sun 13, as they all are, and affect each other. They all affect each other all the time, as people affect each other exactly the same way.
I do not know about the orbiting thing. That is not something I would have guessed or expected. However, I did think that our sun and Alcyone We're connected by energy threads, or somehow, do you say, as living entities, connection.
They are all connected, B.B. Dale.
So, silly as this sounds, are some more closely connected, as in, envision this, if you will, a couple?
They are all going through their own stages of development or life cycles, all in their time frame, creating a soup of energy they exchange through the ether, using the highways we call wormholes. But they're not tunnels, as from higher up, they're all one sun. Crediting Yaski for this.
Like people?
Like people, yes, they are people.
How about my couple's idea? Is there kinda such a thing between stars? Well, you get what I mean. Some suns are more connected than others, and the universe. Is there so-called female and male, etc.?
Negative. They do not see that. Completely another dynamic of existence, not the same as becoming emotionless.
Well, my words are inadequate, sorry. I was trying to explore if any of the suns are more connected to each other than others, and not simply by location or orbit.
Connected to each other, yes, some more than others, but hardly out of romantic love. Those connected suns, more than connected to others, are the ones referred to as entry and exit solar portals, used by many species, with lesser development interstellar capacity, the ones that do not have hyperdrive like us.